afternoon, friends, family, and fellow followers. How you like all those F's? It's another edition of Neighborhood Spotlights, Langhorne edition,
Woo!
coming to you with the number one realtor. And we did not fact check this, but I'm going to just throw it out there. The number one realtor in all of Langhorne Borough and the most read realtor in all of the game, Miss Christina Swain from Opus Elite Real Estate. Was it?
Hey, how are you?
How was that? Was that a good intro?
That was good. I like that.
I did
I
my
can
best.
definitely speak to the realtor in red part.
Yeah, okay. Well, we
Ah,
can fact check that.
yeah, we can.
I
Number
agree.
one, realtor in red.
I agree. So, what's going on in your world? I mean, specifically, we'll talk about Langhorne, but I want to do the recap. So, tonight you got an event, right?
Yeah, we have our Unite for Her. So it's a charity event over in our Robbinsville office, New
Hmm.
Jersey. So basically, that is a charity to benefit women and men with breast cancer. There we go. We have a ton of baskets. I think we have like 30 raffles we're up to now.
Wow.
So and a huge basket of cheer. So stop by tonight. It's going to be great.
And
Live
one of them
music.
has the beer nuts in it.
Yes, the beef nuts. Don't forget the beef nuts. That was funny. I was spit my water out that yesterday.
Okay,
So
go ahead. I
stop
cut you
out.
off. Tonight at
That's okay.
5.
So stop out. We've been working on this a couple months, three,
You've
four
worked
months
hard
now.
on. You've worked hard on this. You have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yes. A
have.
lot of people give a shout out to Angelina, Elaine from our New Jersey office, and of course Mark and Volcon. They've been very helpful, and we've had a few. Christy's helped out a few other people, but Angelina's been my rock behind the scenes, whether she knows it or not.
Angelina. Angelina. Shout out to Angelina Kerper. She's what, Levittown? What's her I think it's Levittown, right? I think Levittown's
Yeah,
her
she does
spot.
Levittown. She's got a listing coming up in Yardley,
Nice.
make blend. So yeah, she's all
Nice.
over Bucks County too.
This is my old partner, Chad Naxon. What's up, homie? Saw your Bograd video. That was a solid one. I like that. Bograd does his annual parties, man. Those things are cray cray. Anyway,
I
don't want to
saw a
digress.
picture of that.
Yeah,
Oof.
crazy. So that was that event. Oh, before I leave this topic, did you figure out the most pivotal piece of information? What's on the menu?
So Mark's in charge of food. We delegated food to Mark. So if Mark's in charge, you're gonna have Italian food from here on out. Perfect, because I get vegetables, and then usually he gets a chicken and a salad or something, like a Caesar salad or something.
All
So
right. So you have that to look forward to. Are there
and
any
music,
other and music provided by
your man Fred.
Fred's playing tonight?
Woo! Fred.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny you said that because he texted me the other day and I told him I've always had like on one of my so of my bucket list items, and I don't mean to digress too much. One of them is to officiate a wedding, has not happened yet. And the other
Oh, was
one,
that
I've
why
done
you
like
wanted me about it?
what's that?
When
What do
we
you
were
say?
talking, like, you get married, I want to officiate.
Yeah, I want to officiate a wedding. It's on my list, and
All
so,
right. I gotta
so
find
is.
somebody.
I mean, performing live in general. Like I've always ever done like karaoke, but like maybe I'll see if Fred, will let me steal his mic. What do you think?
Yeah, tonight it could happen.
All right, so that's tonight. Don't forget about your event coming up at your
October
crib,
8th. Yeah.
the oldest house in Langhorne. We are so close to this event.
Woo! Look at this. Yeah.
We are so close. This was built in 1690.
Correct.
And I was gonna try and be cool and start spewing out some stuff that came out around then, but it's just not flowing in my brain right now. So 1690, house is beautiful, wonderfully restored by Christina. She's worked hard to make this event really, really special, and food, drinks, and most importantly, you and I.
Live band and
Live
band.
band, live band, live
My
band.
friend Dana, who actually plays over at Shady Brook, plays a lot of different venues. So
I'm
he's great.
excited for that. Wait a
Yeah.
second. Can I ask you a question on air and you're going to call me out on this?
Okay.
Was that a recent confirmation? Because I thought he was booked.
He's been booked, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came up with the idea months ago before the
Okay.
party ever was in fruition.
That
I've had
got
him
me.
booked since January.
That gets me even more excited. The only other thing I think that might get Mark more excited than that would be a Cara Cartney, right?
Oh, yes. That would really excite Mark and Maria. But Maria's not coming. She's got previous plans, so
Oh, all right. Well, the
yeah.
event's going to be fun. Christina and I will be signing autographs, like I said, for a very short period of time. But please come by. It's going to be really, really fun. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Jason. I'll get to today's guest. Was there anything else? Did I miss anything else important?
No, stop out. October 8th, open house, 1 to 5 at my house, 154 West Marshall Avenue.
154 West Marshall Avenue, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. And today's guest is a well known person in the borough. He is the vice president of the Langhorne Business Association. He is a commercial banker slash lender with TD Bank. And we are here to discuss all things Langhorne today. Bring to the screen Mr. Tim Burns.
Woo! Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
How are you,
Hey,
sir? So we appreciate your time out. Let's just hit it hard with the most recent announcement of the Fed hike today, because I know you and I are going to both get the same question. Should everyone jump off something?
I mean, it really depends on what it is you're jumping off of. I have a diving board or a pool. It's a little warm out. I wouldn't suggest any roofs for a little while, maybe even a few years. But I think the thing that I've had a lot of very good guidance in my years, and a lot of people much smarter than me have told me they've lived through this, they've survived this. The world hasn't ended yet. God willing, it won't happen in our lifetime. So I think that it's crazy times, and I hate using the word unprecedented because it's so overused. But I think that just sit tight and enjoy the show and go get some popcorn, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah, we're all
that's
gonna
sound
live.
advice.
I mean,
I like.
inventory's still low for everything, so it really doesn't make sense
Stop saying
why.
that. That's not going to help. You're not going to help the feds. They're going to keep hiking it. Stop saying
All right, well, the
that.
Fed's not listening to me. I got news for you. Not speaking out the realtor in red to listen to.
I have a feeling that if the Fed is listening in on this and going, "Hey, listen, I think Chad just talked about," I
Yeah.
think we have bigger problems
Straight up.
than our inventory. Than
So Christina,
Oh,
I gave the formal intro, but I'm gonna let you give the background on Tim and how you guys know each other and the whole Langhorne thing. I'm gonna let you rock out with that, and then I'll hit Tim with a little fun stuff on the latter end.
all right. Sounds good. So now that not that everybody knows, but Tim is behind the Langhorne concert series, which is huge in our town. Like it's packed. You can't even get a seat. You got to bring your lawn, you bring your chair, but it's packed. And he does an awesome job, an amazing job. He gets the bands out there, and they're really good bands, and it's a lot of fun. It's
Hmm.
good. I can't say enough positive things about it. I was quite surprised at the first one I ever attended. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is a professional job. So
Ta- Talk about
awesome.
yeah, talk about that though. So what's the history behind that? Like, give us that whole thing.
Yeah, so the concert's been around for, if I'm not mistaken, we just celebrated our 17th year operating these concerts, and obviously it's been a growing thing. We didn't start out with hundreds upon hundreds of people and all the notoriety.
Mm.
When we did start, it was some local bands, but admittedly, most of the bands we bring in, although they're big and they're excellent bands, a lot of them are very local. We really don't bring in any national acts. We don't bring any. I have a gentleman every week that asks me for Shania Twain. I told him if he pays for it, I'll rent the stage. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we don't have that quite yet.
And
Every year we try to.
every week he makes that request.
Well, we operate every other Wednesday night on throughout the summer. We start right after Memorial Day. We go up right before Labor Day. If it rains, we just move it to the week after, which is the reason for the every other week. But yes, every single every single concert that he is there, he is asking for Shania Twain. So I told him,
Okay.
you pay for it, I'll bring her in.
Okay.
We
All
try
right.
not to repeat bands year over year. That being said, we have had bands come back, multiple times throughout the years. But the biggest aim for the concert itself isn't so much let's have a music event. It's more of let's have a community event. And to Christina's point earlier, we do our best to let everybody know this is not just if you don't live in Langhorne, you can't come. This is very much an all-inclusive. It's very family friendly. It's pet friendly. We have dogs show up all the time, and it's just one of those things that on a Wednesday night at 7:00 you can go out with your family, hang out, listen to good music. We try to keep the music enjoyable to all. Not everybody is a Billy Joel fan. Not everybody is a Southern rock fan, but I'd like to think we have at least one band in the summer that'll appease to whatever it is you like. And I would be absolutely remiss if I did not mention the LBBA volunteers specifically. I most certainly do not do this alone. It is my committee and I quarterback it, but without the volunteers, without the team behind me, it really wouldn't happen. So I give a huge shout out, and that's members of the community, members of the LBBA, board members, what have you. We have the American Legion that's right behind the park. They do our burgers and dogs for us every night. And obviously the bands come out, and then the people that come out, we do our best just to let everybody know what's going on, who's going to be there, and just try to make it a fun, family friendly time.
Cool. Like that. All right.
And then upcoming, our Langhorne Business Association has the Old Langhorne Harvest Day on October 29th.
Yes. And that I will say, I'll refer to an event that we had over the summer. We had the Langhorne Car Show, which it was back after a 2-year hiatus. Seemed there was a little confusion in 2020 as to mass gatherings. Got past that. We won't go too far into that topic for a number of reasons, but Harvest Day is very similar in the sense that we basically shut down Main Street Langhorne. And if you're familiar with Langhorne, we shut it down from the Luke Oil at 413 all the way down to about Green Lane. And the car show this year, we had over 200 entrants. So 200 cars as entries. Multiply that by a person per car plus our spectators. And, you come up with a number. Harvest Day is busier. We have some incredible local vendors, some artisans. If I'm not mistaken, a few of the breweries are going to be coming through, the local breweries. We have live music in 3 different parts of the street, actually. And it's really just a good family friendly time that anybody can come to. They're as cliche as this is going to sound, there is truly something for everyone at Harvest Day. And I feel like if you left and you didn't enjoy something at Harvest Day, then you must have not walked down through Harvest Day.
What's the Christina is definitely a prideful, we call it Langhornian. What's the word? What's the word? I just made I made that up. I don't know.
I'll have to bring that one to the council meeting and find out if we can use that as the new conjecture for Langhorne residents.
Whatever, but there's something like, what is it about this community? To tell us what's with like your history in the community, your purpose for your self-investment, and overall why Langhorne is so electric. Give us your take on it, independent of the organizations you're affiliated with. So disclaimer: this is Tim's perspective.
Yeah. So this is 100% my opinion, my perspective. We can flash some of that like little fine stuff down at the bottom or whatever, hold harmless or whatever. So I actually grew up in and around Langhorne. I did not grow up specifically in the borough, but I was moments away on the other side of the highway, right near Poplar Park, which is now Firefighters Park. Did the majority of my schooling in Langhorne. I did my growing up and my adulthood in Langhorne, and admittedly, I just never really left. What I think makes Langhorne special, and not to diss on my other community friends. I don't want to name any other communities, but what I think makes Langhorne special is the type of person, not only that comes through Langhorne and hangs around to do stuff, but also the person that volunteers their time, or that opens a business, or that, buys a house, whatever it may be. I think it's a very special community, partially because of the history. I mean, Langhorne goes back literally hundreds of years. There's stories of George Washington staying there, and just stories from hundreds of years ago that I think people recognize that. And I think people realize that no matter how old or how young you may be, when you come into Langhorne, there's just a sense of inclusion, and there's a sense of neighborhood. And I think that, in my personal opinion, for, put the disclosure out there, with a lot of the development, regarding some of the neighborhoods and regarding some of the different communities that have been put up, I feel like it's harder to find that old town neighborhood where, you somebody every time you walk down the street. You have these businesses that have been around for 40, 50, 60 years. And, it's just different. It just hits you different. I think that's really what makes Langhorne special is a combination of, the residents and the businesses and the history behind it.
So when we see you in an airport and we're not from your area, and someone asks where you're from, do you say Langhorne?
So it's actually funny you asked that, because my wife is a veterinarian, and she went to school in Iowa. So we're talking Midwest. I got to meet a bunch of her farm raised, never seen a beach kind of people.
She did a lot of work with horses. Yeah.
Actually, she's small animal, but yeah, she had some big animal stuff. But
mini ponies.
I went out there, and it was, oh yeah, I got done a DJ gig last night. I went to Wawa and grabbed a hoagie. And they all looked at me and went, "Where in a what?" And my wife would just look at him and go, "Well, he's from Langhorne." And they'd say, "Where?" And she'd go, "Philadelphia."
Yeah.
And if you're local, I'll say Langhorne. But if you're from a ways away, I kind of have to say I'm about 20 minutes north of Philadelphia, right near Sesame Place.
That's fair. I think
everybody knows Sesame Place.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing.
I always lead with Langhorne, though. I'm proud to say I'm from Langhorne. I'm proud to say I live in Langhorne. I don't just say that, for show or for kicks. I truly mean that. I wouldn't. I don't think I would invest the time, and I don't think that other people would invest their time and their effort if they weren't proud of this town that we have.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you have any other aspirations in terms of your, I guess, titles or positions you want to hold within the community, or any mayoral plans of, or anything like that? I mean, it's okay. You can break news here. We like to do that.
I can assure you there's no news to be broken. There have been jokes made to that degree, but no, I'm very happy with what I do. I'm very proud of the events that the LBBA puts on, whether or not I'm involved with them or not. It's just a nice town to be a part of. And it's something that it's not that I just enjoy doing it, but I enjoy seeing everybody coming out, being a part of the community, and involving themselves, and specifically the younger generation. I can name a dozen different instances at the concerts where little kids are running around and just having a great time and enjoying a Led Zeppelin tribute, enjoying Southern rock. But the fact that they're in the town with their family, with their neighbors, I think that's really what I look for, and that's what I aim for. So whatever the position may be, as long as I'm able to give back to Langhorne and do my best to keep that stuff going, I'm content. I'm not saying I'd be against the run for mayor.
That was a very scripted answer. Thank you for that, Tim.
Well, here, let me check my notes and see what else I need. I'm not saying I wouldn't be mayor. I'm just saying I'm not running in the next term.
Hey, thank you. So that's breaking. So you're considering it. Thank you.
No, you're stretching there a little. I think we might have some fake news on that one, but
I got to tell you, I'm a part of the media now. So what can I tell you?
Oh. So I'm going to go on Facebook in a couple minutes, be like, Tim Burns announces run for mayoral candidate of Langhorne Borough.
That's it.
Great.
Oh my God. And one other quick question. I feel like I'm stealing your thunder today, Christina. Am I stealing your thunder?
No, you're into it. Go for it.
You sure? All right, I'm just rolling with it. So I always like to give like people shout outs, especially when they're in my industry. Tell us what your day job is, to what do you do, who do you work with, because it's community oriented.
Yeah, so I work for TD Bank. I'm a small business / commercial relationship manager and lender. What I do is I specialize in small business lending up to $1 million,
Okay.
and that includes commercial real estate. Not so much over the summer, but we do a lot of commercial real estate. We do term loans, we do lines of credit, and one of the things that TD is very proud of is we specialize in SBA lending. We have a very close partnership with the SBA, and there's a lot of loans for businesses that a lot of other institutions can't get done that we will get done.
I broker that product, actually.
Do you really? I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have a stack of paper this big on your desk right now from?
I do. I do commercial as well as residential. And I'm going to give a shout out. How long have you been with TD?
Actually, last week was 8 years.
Okay. Do you know Dan Susi?
So Dan and I are actually counterparts up until next week or the week after. He actually just got promoted to a new position, and Dan trained me in the position that I'm in currently.
So Dan and I go way back. I'll be at his wedding. Tell him that. Tell him that.
Are you officiating?
I wish. That would make the bucket list. That would make the bucket list. But just so you know, it's all friendly fire, Tim. I know all your green compatriots. There.
Yeah, yeah. Dan, I give Dan a lot of credit. I mean, he has picked up the phone and answered some very, very silly questions for me over the years. So, yeah, he and I work very closely together.
Good dude. But all right, Christine, I'll shut up. What do you got? What you got over there? What's left in your bag?
All right. So how about some of your side business, Tim? I know you do. You put on the concerts, which lends itself to your side business. Give us a bit of. And I saw you're playing in a band at the 5-4 this Saturday.
Yeah. So I always tell when people ask me what I do for a living, I just kind of tell them I don't sit still well.
Can I use that? Can I use that? Tim?
It's all yours, Chad. You can have it. I'll let you have the copyright. I'll transfer it over to you. So I actually do have a production company on the side of DJ, MC, and musician. I've been DJing since 1998.
Wow.
My first professional musician gig was in 1997. My dad had a jazz quartet, and I played a wedding with them, and I got paid. So, boom, professional musician. I've been DJing on and off for all those years. I've played in a couple different cover bands. I've done some studio work, and if you're familiar with the Keswick Theater, when they do Jesus Christ Superstar every Easter, I'm the drummer for that production as well.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
So, it's music. Music's one of those things that it's always been a part of my life. It's my father kind of passed it to me. I'm now in the process of passing it to my daughter.
Very cool.
I don't know where she's learning half the stuff she's learning, but I'll take it. Well, she's 3.5, so.
Oh wow! You didn't tell me that.
But yeah, and I mean, the music thing. I've always, anytime I've had a job interview or anytime I've spoken with my leadership at TD, I've always said to them, listen, TD is first and foremost, pays the bills. It's the full-time job. That's my focus. But you'll never get me out of music.
You should just change your last name to Derns. Then, TD, get it?
Oh, jeez.
No?
I mean, I've had some bad dad jokes, but
Okay, that's the first time
one.
you've heard that one.
yeah, I have not. I've heard the TB jokes because a lot of my family on my mom's side is in healthcare. So I mean, with initials of TB,
TB,
yeah,
tuberculosis
and with the music thing, it's I find it interesting that we're doing a webcam thing here, by way of the Zooms and the WebExes and all the different platforms. In 2020, when everything, kind of came to a pause, I basically moved all my music gear inside, learned how to do recording on my own, and learned how to do YouTube. And I posted a few videos and kind of said, hey, if you like it, great. If you don't, that's great too. Not trying to be, Mr. Beast over here, but it's just it's very interesting to kind of watch the evolution of everything and try to keep up with the times, they say.
Yeah, for sure, man. Wow. Well, that's cool. You and I are kindred spirits because we're both in lending, and I used to be a wedding/bar mitzvah DJ myself.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sir. I started with I was actually with Bobby Morgenstein.
Bobby, my boy.
And then I switched over to Cutting Edge with Craig. You know Craig Sumsky?
When were you at Cutting Edge?
Oh, geez, man. Grawini, what's his name? Justin, what's his face was there.
Yeah.
And Jake Dreyfus was there.
So I was when and I just forgot his name. When one of the DJs went off to college, I became Mark Mednick's lead DJ at Cutting Edge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I worked
funny.
for them for a number of years, worked for A Sharp Production under Adam White for a little while. Worked under Odie, who worked under
the lighting
Bobby,
guy.
but kind of had his own.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. So and
Odie in the white Jeep, right?
Yep. Well, yeah. What now? It's Odie in the Toyota Tacoma or his fat wheel bicycle, depending on what day you get him.
See, you never knew how small the world was.
I have to say that the real estate world, the banking world, and the music world are about this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that just pulls your personality out, I guess. I actually midway, this is a true story, was doing a Sweet 16, and the father hated the MC so much so that he said, "Don't get back on the mic." And he looked at me, he's like, "Well, only one person left to take over the mic. I guess that's me." So I took it over, did well, and switched to MC. And started making way more money. So $700 on a Saturday night. I don't know why I left.
Yeah. And I mean, admittedly, I did a lot of my own DJing as well as working with some other companies. So it was kind of a hit or miss, but kind of to your story, by no means a one-up, but of kindred spirit thought. A good friend of mine got married a couple years ago, probably 6-7-ish years ago. And they were getting married on a cruise ship. Well, the way that it works is you get married at the port. That way, if you're not taking the full cruise, you go in, you see the ceremony, you dance, you eat, and you get off the boat. Well, that was me. Well, he calls me ahead of time and says, listen, we're doing this reception. I already called them. They said you can MC it. You can this, you can that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Were you going to ask me if I wanted to do this, or you're just? And he's like, well, they offered me a DJ, but I'm guessing a cruise ship DJ is no good, so you're going to do it. Okay, sure. So I did the introductions for them, did the cake cut, some of the formalities, and I did my little song dance, my spiel, and some guy comes up to me afterward. He says, "Listen, we're always hiring. We'd love to have you in." And I've had the cruise ship offers as a musician. When I was younger. The problem is you set out to sea in the end of April. You're not home until September.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a cool gig if you can float it, pun completely intended. But it's most certainly not a full-time gig. So I was like, yeah, sure. Thank you. I appreciate the comp, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of didn't really look at his card. I just took his card, put it in my pocket. Cool. Shook hands, whatever. And I'm looking at the card on my way home. Come to find out, he's the entertainment director for Carnival Cruise Lines.
Wow.
Oh,
And I kind of went, oh,
oops.
we're going to save your email. You're getting a Christmas card. So yeah, it's interesting where music can take you, and you know, the different. I wouldn't have given up my music in my life for anything in the world. It's afforded me so many experiences, and one of the big things I'm an advocate of, and kind of circling back to the concert, is spreading that music through the community by whichever means we have. There's a young gentleman playing at our Harvest Day. His name's Ryan Sabalaski. He goes by Ryan Sab. He is 16, maybe 17. He's working on his second solo produced recording, I believe.
nice.
He is an excellent musician. And I think what I love the most about it is not only his passion, not only his talent, but his attitude. He is the nicest, most down-to-earth kid you'll ever meet. I've told people I've played with really good players. I've played with players with opportunity. We don't say bad. I will take a mediocre player with an excellent attitude over the best player with a crappy attitude all day. Yep. So it's nice to see the younger generation getting into that stuff and doing that, and you know, being able to kind of propel that whole thing.
Very cool. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny how the story just unfolded, isn't it, Christina? You didn't expect that, did you?
No, you just never know.
You never know. Here on Neighborhood Spotlights,
Especially
you never
with you.
know.
You know?
So yeah, I mean, I think we've asked him everything we could ask.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
You can go out and see him Saturday night, right, at the 5-4.
Yeah, I'll be drumming with. I play with a band called Spare Parts. We'll be at the 5-4 bar in Levittown, Fairless Hills, depending on who you're talking to and what you want to admit to on that.
Fairless Hills. It's got to be. Could also be Walsington. You never know.
Just look up 5-4 bar. It's that's where we are. It's wherever that is. But
will we be seeing you at Christina's event, Tim? No pressure.
So there's like 32 events going on tonight. Remind me which one is the one that you need to see me at.
No, October the 8th at her house.
Oh, yeah, October the 8th. That's so.
This doesn't sound good.
Possibly. And I'll throw one little nugget in here, and I'll see if maybe I can. Now, Chad, are you from the Philly area originally? You're local?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. From so I fall in the circle. Yeah.
Okay. So October 8th, if I can drop a little plug as well, is also something called Parkland Fest.
Okay.
It is an event that has been going on for the past 5 or 6 years, hosted by the Uptown String Band of the Philadelphia Mummers organization, of which I've been a member since 2001.
So you're a mummer too?
Yes, sir.
I was a Froggy Car for 6 years, bro.
You were in Froggy Car?
No talent, all drinking.
That doesn't surprise me.
Little more talent, little less of the drinking, I think, on the string band side of things. But yeah, so we'll be having our event that afternoon. But
bring it over October 8th across the way over to Langhorne Borough.
I'll send everybody over. I'll make
bring them over.
Let's go.
Chad and I will be there.
Yeah,
Chad's coming.
Oh yeah, I'll be there for sure. Well, Tim, it was a pleasure, man. It was great getting to know you. And the more we meet people from Langhorne, the more we get a flavor as to why it's such a great place. And Christina and I are going to be diving deeper into Langhorneville. I'm going to keep calling it new names. Langhorne Barrow. With the more Langhornians. and I will part this show formally and say, everyone, please, if you're in the Robbinsville, New Jersey area, come out tonight. Christina, did you want to part ways with any of our viewers here?
Nope. Stop out to our Opus office, Robbinsville, New Jersey, tonight between 5 and 7 for our Unite for Her charity event.
Awesome. Tim, thanks so much. Everyone, thanks for watching another edition of Neighborhood Spotlights. We will see you next week. Same place, same channel, same amazing, beautiful faces. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See you, Tim.
Bye.